Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphs and successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes can be found in the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and helpful coach to small business owners across the country. And today we are excited to welcome / preparing to learn from Yakub Kazi, the owner of Ember Foods. So Yakub, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
I'm excited to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Because I guess just for the viewers at home, you were a student in my business planning class, I'm going to say ballpark of 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Yes.
Whenever in-person stuff was hip.
Right.
Before a pandemic and all that jazz.
Yes.
So you came to the class. I remember when you graduated that business planning class,
Right.
we had food and stuff like that.
Yes.
That was incredible because you brought some of your dishes.
Yes.
And they were things that I'd never had before.
All right.
So let's start out. What is Ember Foods?
Ember Foods has all the Indian authentic dishes,
All right.
which the people prefer having. And I was approached by many of the customers when I was working at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And they asked me, why don't we have, or why don't you start an authentic Indian restaurant?
Yeah.
And they said that we miss out on authentic Indian food.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me an idea, and I discussed that with my wife. And my wife was a bit skeptical at that stage, thinking to give up full-time jobs and get into this.
Sure.
Was a bit frightening. So I said, no, I've got the skills, I've got the means of doing it, and I've got the aptitude, and I've got that skills.
All right.
So let's do it.
All right.
And we took that step back in 2019, in November 2019.
All right. So she's like, hey, there's a little risk,
Yes.
little tiny amount of risk in starting your own business.
Right.
So at the time you had a day job, I imagine.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And you're like, hey, let's go off and do this thing.
Right.
And she says, pump the brakes.
Yes.
And then eventually you won her over, essentially. I
Yes.
imagine you must
Yes.
have.
Yes. And James, earlier I did a lot of research.
Okay.
And I put a lot of thought into it. And I did a lot of interviews with the customers and got their feedback as to what they would prefer.
All right.
In Indian snacks and Indian food. And then whenever we are at any Indian restaurant, I have to observe what the other customers are having.
Oh, all right.
And I spoke to the owner of that restaurant to find out what are the main dishes that they are ordering. Mm-hmm. And I made a list of that, and I worked on it, and I knew that I could make it.
Okay.
And then we started introducing some of the snacks at some of the food events that we were participating
All
in.
right. So you brought a trailer or a table set up?
Yes, we put up a booth, put some tables there. And then we introduced the samosas, the Indian samosas.
All right.
And samosas are one of the popular Indian snacks.
All right.
Or should I say street food back in India.
All right.
So I started with that, and people thronged to our to our booth.
Oh, that's good.
And in the first event, we sold 800 samosas.
Holy cow. All right.
That was excellent, and that gave us some insight into the people that they are liking it.
Yeah.
And also gave us some confidence to move ahead.
All right.
And we also spoke to the customers. What else would they like? And then they mentioned lassi. Lassi is like a mango smoothie.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So mango lassi is a. So my wife is very good at making that. So we introduced in the next event, we introduced that, and people loved it. And it was summertime, and thereon then we started doing the lassi, the mango lassi.
All right. So with Indian food, can you help me understand the foundation for typical ingredients and stuff like that?
Well, Indian food or snacks, it revolves over the spices.
Okay.
Indian spices.
All right.
So some of the spices are really good for the health. Something like turmeric, carom seeds, and likewise there are so many other. Mm-hmm. So in one of my snacks, there are about 8 such spices.
In one snack?
In one snack.
Holy
it's
cow.
called the onion pakoras.
All right.
So that we are supplying to Willie Street Co-op.
All right.
So people are loving that. And actually, next month I'm doing like a food show over there, like sampling.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be making that on the spot so people can taste it. And otherwise, my food is always given frozen.
Okay.
So I'll be making it on the spot. So yeah, so the Indian food is revolving around all the spices. Spices, yeah, it takes a lot of efforts to prepare the food and the snacks.
I bet.
A lot of time consuming.
Okay.
But it's worth it.
Is that because it's cooking for such a long time?
Yes, cooking as well as prepping. Prepping is the main thing.
Oh, really?
Prepping
Okay.
for it takes long time.
All right.
Cooking doesn't take as long, but the prepping is time consuming and labor intense.
All right. So let's talk about the capital outlay that you had to put together.
Right.
Because I imagine there's got to be equipment,
Yes.
or I imagine ingredients initially,
Yes.
The equipment, and all that kind of stuff. You had to talk your wife into that.
Right.
Like, hey, we're going to start this business.
Yes.
We're going to need a couple dollars to do it.
Yes.
So what is some of the stuff that you had to buy to purchase initially?
Well, we had to purchase a deep fryer.
We're talking industrial.
A deep fryer, not industrial, just a tabletop.
Okay.
Because I didn't straight away want to go into an industrial one
right.
because that needs space. to
Gotcha.
keep.
Oh, that's another. Okay. So you have to have room to actually put the
So
equipment.
yes,
Okay.
because it was very early into the business, and I wanted to give it a try just in case it doesn't work.
All right.
So I'm not still.
One finger still on the diving board. All right.
So it goes step by step.
All right.
And as we learned in your training as well, to do the research, to do the homework, we did all that, and that worked out very well.
All right.
So yeah, so it all worked out. And
right.
gradually then we started buying more equipment. And from there on, then we started expanding and getting into more equipment.
All right.
And investing more money into it.
And where do you produce all this food?
At Kristen's Kitchen.
Okay.
It's a commercial kitchen on East Wash.
All right.
And Kristen is the owner of that kitchen, and she's extremely helpful and very accommodative. And because our products need a lot of spread out, so we need at least 2 to 3 tables.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we usually go after hours where
Oh,
there are
alright.
less people working there.
All right.
Yeah, so that's another thing of Indian cooking. It's a lot of spread out.
Needs a lot of space.
Yes, a lot of space.
All right. That's funny.
It is.
Christine, I guess, she manufactures slide potato chips.
Absolutely, she is.
And I
That's
interviewed
right.
her on this show.
Oh, okay.
Man, that's probably 3 years ago.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so look in the single or double digits of shows and you'll find her. It's interesting, I guess,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny how in Madison there's just this group of people,
Right.
cooks, that have their own business,
Yeah.
whether that's a restaurant or a food cart
Yeah.
or something like what you have going on.
Yes.
All connected. Everybody
Yeah,
knows each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very, very cordial.
Yes.
Everybody gets along
Yes.
and they're super helpful.
Uh-huh.
I think they almost have to be because it's a tough business.
It is. It
Food
is.
is
Yes.
just a
Food.
difficult.
Absolutely, and it's an interesting avenue to go into.
Yeah. So what were you doing before? Were you in the food industry?
No, I wasn't in food industry. I was a fabric designer.
Okay. That's
I'm
180.
I'm a professional fabric designer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did back in India for 15 years for menswear.
All right.
I used to do all these designs for the suiting, shirtings.
Oh, really?
Yes, 15 years. And I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
And some of the principles that I learned doing my designing, I'm using the same principles today in the food business too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So one thing is for certain that I learned is something new. Offer something new to the customer, and that's what brings up your business.
Interesting.
So that's what I used to do in the designing. I used to bring something new in the designing, and that's how I gained popularity in the fashion field.
All right. That's so interesting you say that because
Yes.
I'm listening to this biography of Harry Houdini,
Okay.
and he would get famous, and
Right.
then people were like, "Oh, I get it. You unlock stuff," and then he'd have to be like, "What? I do it upside down," and he'd keep reinventing himself.
Right.
Or someone like David Bowie, who
Right.
was constantly reinventing himself, just to keep people interested.
Right.
Otherwise, you just become like, I've seen it before.
Right.
Not a big deal. So it's interesting. I understand what you're saying.
Yes. So the principles stay the same. So I worked on those principles, and it is working.
All right.
So Today, also in my in the food business, I keep on introducing something new all the time. So,
Okay.
like I just returned from India and I learned this new dish, and I just gave them the samples. Everyone liked it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
So from next week, I'll be supplying all the stores with that product.
All right. And do you have employees?
No, just two of us.
You
Husband
and your wife are the
and my
ones
wife
putting
and
it all
I.
together.
That's it.
And you sell the food frozen.
Frozen, yes.
So is there some special process to go from cooked or prepared food
Yeah,
to
we
frozen?
Yes, we cook the food at the kitchen, and we let it cool it down in the cooler,
Okay.
and then freeze it.
Okay.
And then it is ready for delivery the next day.
Got it.
So no preservatives, nothing.
And is there some special freezing technique to keep, I don't know, I think of stuff I put in the freezer, crystallizes, it looks and tastes just not that
Yeah,
great.
the shelf life for our products is like 5 days.
5 days?
5
okay.
days, yes.
All right.
So we don't put any preservatives.
All right.
And the shopkeepers know, and well, it does sell before that due date.
All right.
Yes.
So you're moving
It
product.
is absolutely.
So you have to deliver.
Yes, we
You're probably
do.
delivering more than preparing.
We do that. We do that twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So for Monday delivery, we cook on Sunday, and for Thursday delivery, we cook on Wednesdays.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And that's your life now.
That's
Very
it.
regimented.
Yes, and the rest of the days we go shopping.
Okay.
You have to go sometimes to Milwaukee to buy the products.
Do you really?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Just because the spices and all that aren't here?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah. Some of the products are not available here. Sometimes the containers are not here. So then we go and shop there.
All right.
And at times, for some products, we have to go to Chicago too, because some of the suppliers are back in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, the Indian food suppliers.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
What kind of stuff are you talking about?
Like flour, like chickpea flour.
Okay.
You know,
chickpea flour.
Yeah, chickpea flour. So
Like that's something that even me with my limited palate has heard of. So
yes,
that's crazy
chickpea
that
flour.
you have to.
Yeah, that's what I use for my onion pakoras.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So sometimes that is not available. Then sometimes the paneer, which I use for one of my hot bar dishes.
All
So
right.
that is not available. And sometimes the tamarind is not available, because for the tamarind chutney, we make the chutney ourselves. That takes all 1 week to prepare that.
1 week.
1 week. And just that chutney, people have given us feedback. Why don't you start manufacturing just the chutney?
Oh, really?
Yes, sell us just the chutney.
Help me out. What is chutney?
Chutney is a combination of tamarind pulp and cloves and other spices that go into it.
Okay.
So we have to soak the tamarind for a couple of days,
Wow.
because it's a fruit and it
Okay.
has got like seeds in there. So we have to remove that. We have to crush it with hand to get the pulp and the juice out.
Wow.
So that process takes a couple of days because we actually squeeze out all the juice out of it and throw
Okay.
away the pulp.
All
We
right.
have to strain the pulp and then cook it with spices.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and that's how the chutney is prepared.
All right. That
So it's-
sounds really labor intensive.
It is labor intense, but at the end of the day, that chutney is so good. It is to be eaten with the snacks like the pakoras and the samosas.
Okay.
But at some of the events, people drank it.
Really?
I said, oh my goodness, even we don't do it. And yeah, they drank it. I said, wow. And then I told my wife that we should be thinking about this next,
Yeah.
next business into going into
Alright.
this chutney.
So, a manufacturer, we'll talk an industrial scale manufacturer that would
Yeah.
make chutney.
Yeah.
They're doing that with machines somehow.
Well, yes. But in this case, if we were to venture that product, we have to buy a pulp from India, because it is already prepared, like the pulp is prepared.
Yeah.
Then we have to cook it
Okay.
with the set spices.
All right. I guess from my just business coach brain goes to, can you make any money doing it manual, or is it more for the love of the product?
Well, it's the love of the product.
Okay.
Money is in the actual product.
Okay.
Because the combination of that tamarind chutney with the samosa and the pakoras is an excellent combination. And that's how it is served back in India.
All right.
So that's what we wanted to do it here, the real taste.
Nice.
And people love it.
All right.
So even at the food events, when they purchase the samosas, we squirt the chutney on it, and people come back for it. Can we have some more chutney?
It's so interesting when you go to something like Taste of Madison,
Right.
or just any gathering where there's tons of food carts and
Yep.
booths for food. When I was young and naive, and not old and naive like I am now, I just took for granted how much work went into producing the food.
Right.
I treated those food booths more like fast food.
Yeah.
What is the most food I can get for the cheapest amount of money kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't until I started teaching that class, the
Yeah.
business planning classes,
Yeah.
that all these people that have these food booths
Right.
were attending, and they were telling me how much work goes into the
Yes.
food.
Yes.
And when you're paying $7, $10, whatever for this little thing of food, there's about $50 worth of work that went into that thing.
Going into that, right.
It's
Right.
it's bizarre, and it's super cool how much passion people have for
Absolutely.
the food that they
Yes.
produce.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And it is very satisfying when people enjoy that and they come back to compliment us. That's
Yeah.
the best part of it.
I bet.
So all that hard work we forget,
Yeah.
that this is what it is.
It's worth it.
Absolutely.
All right.
And that word of mouth is excellent. It's very important.
Nice.
And today the business at the stage at where we are is only because of word of mouth. And of course, businesses like Soups On and Dane by Local, they helped us a lot in getting there.
Nice.
And they did a lot of advertising for us in the local magazines.
Oh, very cool.
In Madison Essentials, we had an article. And after that article, we got a lot of feedback. And we got, in fact, a lot of orders.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
yes, we got orders from people. We got orders from Epic.
Oh, nice.
So just a couple of weeks ago, we delivered our food there at Epic.
And how much are you talking about? Are you talking about truckload or?
Not a truckload, just like for 20 people.
Okay.
But I think that's very
good
important.
start.
Yeah, just because that word of mouth is
Yeah.
very important
All right.
in food business.
Let's talk about pallets.
Yep.
Indian pallet versus the local Midwest American
Yep.
pallet. I always imagine someone like my kid who thinks that mayonnaise is spicy versus a typical Indian pallet. I just picture you guys breathing fire or eating fire kind of things. There's two different spice tolerances or enjoyments, I guess. I guess, is that tough to navigate?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because Indian spices and the other food spices are totally different.
Okay.
Because, for example, when we talk of spices, the first thing comes to our mind is the chili.
Yeah. Yep.
So compared to jalapeno chili, the flavor is different. Whereas the Thai chili, that hotness, that
Yeah.
is different.
All right.
And that makes the difference. That differentiates the dishes.
Okay. So it's not
And the
burn your
spiciness.
tongue, psycho,
No.
feel like you ate the sun kind of thing.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but some people did comment to us saying that, oh, I like the hotness of the jalapeno chilies, not the Thai chilies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
All right. Well, that's two
there you
booths
go.
down, right?
That's yeah, you can go there.
Funny. So I imagine in India you have tons of dishes to choose from.
Right.
And you have to figure out, one, what you like, what you can do,
Right.
and what the customers will buy
Yes.
or want.
Yeah.
And I imagine part of that is just knowing or figuring out what the customers know exists, because they got to look at your menu and say, hey, I want that. And part of that, I imagine, is there must be an education aspect to some of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that, at that point, the research that I did, that came into play.
Okay.
Because when we went to the restaurants, I used to observe what the people having in their plate. And samosa was, the vegetable samosa
All right.
was one of the common thing. And
Nice.
then the mango lassi
All right.
is always there. So that's what I observed. Then tandoori chicken.
All right.
So the most popular, if you ask any person not Indian,
Yep.
and these are the items they come up with.
Yeah, that's the one I was, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
fantastic.
yeah, so that's what we come up with. That okay, let's give them what they like,
All right.
and that's how I succeeded.
Have you ever presented any dishes that you liked and popular in India, but it just didn't sell for whatever reason?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
Only for the reason that there will be wastage, and people won't like it. So that's why I started that. Give them what they like.
Okay. How, I guess, can you tell me a little bit more about the research you do, and when you talk to people and you present food to
Yeah.
them, how do you figure out what they like? Because someone like me,
Yes.
I don't even know.
Right.
When it comes to Indian food,
Right.
if you said, hey, James, besides the chicken, I'll try whatever's in front of me.
Okay.
But as far as naming it,
Right.
nah.
Right. Okay. So when I was working as a manager at one of the popular grocery store, and customers used to come to me and ask me, being an Indian,
Yeah.
like, okay, where can I find this item? For example,
Oh.
the naan.
Okay.
So then I used to take to that place, and as I'm taking them, helping them out, I used to talk to them.
Yeah.
That what sort of naans do you like?
Yeah.
Because there is a garlic naan, there's plain naan.
Oh.
Yeah. So they said, oh, we love the garlic naan. Our children love the garlic naan.
Mm-hmm.
So that I registered in my mind that, okay.
All right.
So that's how I got the feedback from the customers.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I spoke about samosas, and they love it. And first, when we introduced the samosas, they liked it, and they said, can we put some more spice in it?
Oh.
They wanted it a bit hotter. So,
Okay.
wow, I said, okay. We were a bit skeptical then, if those spices will be welcomed by the customer.
Yeah.
But they loved it, and they wanted more spice in it,
All right.
more chilies in it. So that's what we introduced, and they love it now.
Nice. Oh, very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Let's talk about the business side.
Yep.
You start the business. Was your wife, was the plan for her to help you, or did that just more or less evolve and you're like, hey, it's 2 in the morning, I got to go run to the kitchen and make this stuff?
Well, the business that we are doing at the moment, like I do most of the manual, like
Okay.
the cooking part of it.
All right.
And my wife, I give her like light duties, something like doing the labels, doing the invoices.
All right.
And the mango lassi, she's fond of making the mango lassi. So I give that to her.
All right.
That, okay, you do
Have at
that.
it.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, and she does help me with the prep part of it, cutting onions, chopping that, chopping this.
All right.
So yeah, but most of the cooking part of it is more labor intense. So
Gotcha.
I take part of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me about the health aspect with labeling and all that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah.
I imagine that's a whole nother headache.
Yeah.
At least what I've heard, it's a whole nother headache. Where you got to figure out what to put on the label.
Right.
Sizing, weights. I don't know if you have to do the nutrition label and stuff like that.
Not at this stage.
Okay.
No.
Just because the volume that you're pumping out?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the food inspector that comes to inspect at the commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
So they gave us an idea. They gave us the notes that this has to be on the label.
Okay.
So we just take it from there.
Okay.
And those just basic, the weight, the ingredients, then keep refrigerated, whether it is vegan. So those important things. Then the address that we are making our food at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I imagine just getting labels printed and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. We have to look around, So obviously I have to do all the shopping around to
Right.
find the cheapest. So actually this time when I went to India, I got the labels printed from India.
Oh, really? Not authentic
It's
Indian
much
label.
cheap. Yeah, it's cheaper.
That's awesome.
Cheaper.
Tell me about the packaging, because I
Yeah.
imagine you have to figure out how we're going to package this to
Yes,
the
right.
point. I mean, just like any food product, a lot of
Right.
times the packaging almost costs more than the food itself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you figure out, and then portions, how do you figure that out?
Portioning. So we normally the aspect of how the packaging would look on the shelf.
All right.
Yeah, we look at other products, we look at their labels, and we see how it looks on the shelf. Plus the portioning that we have to do, how actually it will look into that particular. So then I went around the stores looking for samples for the packaging, especially the store that I was working at.
Yeah.
So in the bakery we had some plastic packaging. So I put my products in there to see how it looks, how it will look on the shelf.
All
Then we
right.
put our label there. So this is all the homework we need to do, and then go out there and look for that particular packaging.
Now you got to find a
yes.
manufacturer, supplier. For
That's
it.
right.
All
Yes.
right.
So again, the footwork is involved in it. So we went around looking for it, and we found the cheapest place to buy that.
Okay.
So that's why we have to go to Milwaukee to buy those.
Wow. All right. You know, it's so interesting when I talk to people that are in the food business.
Right.
When you're first starting out, you want to buy in bulk because
Yes.
then cost per serving is less
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes bulk is way too bulky.
Too bulky, yes.
Sometimes, like when I feel like I'm going to Costco, like I don't need a drum of peanut butter. I need a
Right.
jar of peanut butter.
That's right.
So I imagine with the food that you're doing,
Yes.
or buying packaging or flour and stuff
Yep,
like that,
yep.
sometimes it's tough to navigate.
Yes.
I need this much,
Yeah.
not this much.
Right.
Or figuring out
Absolutely.
where you can store it to make it all worthwhile.
Sure. So with time, James, we come to know what is selling, what is not selling, what is selling less, what is selling more. So accordingly, I do my purchases, as per the orders.
All right.
So at the beginning, we go slow. We buy just one case. That one particular product, for example, the samosas are selling a lot. Then we buy more packaging.
All right.
Yeah. And the other heartache that we have is that particular packaging is not available at the store.
Oh.
So which is happening at the moment a lot.
Oh, really?
So in that case, instead of buying 2 cases, I buy 5 cases.
All right. Because when they have
Just
it,
to
you
be
gotta
prepared.
get it.
Absolutely. We have to do that.
All right.
Because there are other businesses who are purchasing the same product. And that's why they cannot supply that many.
That is so interesting. Some of the shortages of certain things.
Right.
It's just like packaging.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
just a weird
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Chips and all this other kind of stuff,
Right.
wood, whatever.
Right.
Just a bizarre.
It is. It is. At the moment, especially when the after the pandemic, after the mask mandate has gone off, so people are into the food business. And surprisingly enough, back in India too, people are booming with food.
Oh,
With
really?
food.
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere, every corner you see,
right.
there's someone selling food.
Nice.
So this is the situation, I believe, all over the world after the pandemic.
All right.
And during pandemic, our online business was skyrocketed.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yes.
So tell me about it. Tell me
Yeah.
about your website and how people order from you.
Yes. So during the pandemic, as we got worried, that, okay, the stores are not ordering as many. So Market Wagon was one of the places where we started delivering our food.
Okay.
And people were buying a lot of food online.
All
So
right.
that was a bulk of our income from Market Wagon.
What is it? I'm sorry, Market Wagon?
Market Wagon.
What is that?
Wagon. So we prepare our food, we freeze it, and we deliver to a spot on the west side of Madison.
Okay.
And they have a place there where they have like totes, and we deliver our food there. And then those totes are then delivered to the customers.
All right. So a
Yeah.
customer is buying a tote of many things.
Many things.
All right.
So in that tote will be my product as well as some else's product.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that tote just belongs to that particular customer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was. And that gave us a lot of business.
All right.
Yeah. And similarly, Kristen at Kristen's Kitchen, she was extremely helpful. She started doing that too. And from her also, we got very good business.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So is this a customer of that? Is it a membership thing, or are they getting
They're
weekly
getting-
deliveries? Or how is
Yes,
that working?
yeah. So how the system worked was we get the orders, we prepare the food, and we put that in the cool room or in the freezer. And then there's a person who Kristen has appointed to deliver that food to that customer.
All right.
So they used to charge us some delivery charges, and they used to deliver the food.
Wow.
Yeah, so Kristen was extremely helpful for us.
All right. And the products that you would supply,
Yeah.
were those chosen by the customer, or was it this week they're getting
Well,
whatever that you make?
The items, the menu was given online.
Okay.
Yeah, with the pictures. So people know what they're buying.
All right.
Yeah, and for example, samosas. The samosas has got so popular, so people know straight away. They see if it is Ember Foods, it's samosa.
All right.
So that's how they have started recognizing.
All right.
So yeah, so just from the pictures, and then the other company that helped us a lot was Dane by Local, and they had this soups on.
Okay.
So during winter time, we just supply them soups.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
like a quart of soups.
All right.
And there are many other businesses who supply this soup. So each time we were giving like different soups. Some
wow.
soups that I liked
Yeah.
and I could prepare, and people don't have it here. So something like sweet corn chicken soup.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
sweet corn chicken soup, it's an Indian, Indo-Chinese soup which we don't get it here.
Oh,
We get back in India.
all right.
So I said, okay, let's do that. And I got excellent orders with that.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
So the things that you would deliver or that you would sell then,
Mm-hmm.
do you always have the same products or do those shift and come and go?
We do shift.
Okay.
Every week we try to introduce something new.
Every week?
Every week.
Holy
yes.
cow. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
ambitious.
Yeah. So, and again, going back to the principle of my fabric designing,
Yeah.
give them something new.
All right.
So that helped.
Every week. Wow. That's impressive.
Yes. And then looking at the sales, we used to repeat that particular dish again because maybe the customer is missing out on that particular product. So I said, okay, if they're liking the sweet corn chicken soup, let's do that again.
All right.
So again, depending on the sales that we were having, we used to repeat those soups.
Interesting.
And we do this during the winter time only.
All right. Soups
Yeah.
aren't such a
Soups
summertime
on.
thing,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is impressive. What have been some of the challenges, I mean, besides pandemic, because I guess that's a thing, right? But you started this business end of 2019.
All right.
And is it going where you thought it would go? Or how you thought it would go?
Well, James, what is important in the food industry, I would say, or for any, for that matter, any business, is you keep going. You don't give up.
Okay.
You don't give up.
It's persistence.
You have to be persistent.
All right.
Absolutely, because as I said, when we started the business and the pandemic hit, and we were both out of the jobs, of the full-time jobs.
All right.
That was the worst.
So this is your
worst time.
livelihood.
Yes.
All right.
So that was, especially my wife got worried, that, oh, we quit the jobs now see what happened. I said, no, don't give up
Yakub!
yet.
I told you.
What did you do? But no, with my past experience, James, I'm a hard nut to crack.
All right. I love it. I love it.
So I told my wife that don't worry, it is temporary. It will get over this. And we definitely got help from the government. We got government grants, the business grants that we got. That came as a blessing.
All right.
So, and I told my wife, here we go. Here
Yeah.
are the grants, so
Right.
don't worry about it. So, and then the online business, like Market Wagon, and then Kristen's Kitchen,
Yeah.
that helped us a lot.
All right.
Then Soups On. So we started getting these sort of businesses, so that helped us.
Nice.
And that kept us afloat.
All right.
Yeah, so you never give up. You never lose hope.
Just this too
You
shall
keep
pass.
going. You keep going.
Keep moving.
And I set a goal. I set a goal, and I work towards the goal.
All right.
And that's what always helped me in my past profession and even present. So I just keep at it.
All right.
Don't lose the vision.
Right.
You have to get there. We will get there.
All right.
Don't lose that sight.
Journey
Absolutely.
on your way to the
Absolutely.
destination. All right.
And that's where we are now.
Nice.
Yeah, and the business is growing, and at the moment we are trying to planning to get some people on board
All right.
to
Get
help
employees.
us. Yeah,
Oh, there's a whole nother. all
that's
kinds of
right.
fun.
That's right.
So are you're actively looking for people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or you have to, I imagine, I guess with the businesses that I've had, when it comes to employees, are going from being the solopreneurs, so to speak,
Right.
and then adding employees. You had to build up to the point that you were essentially doing the work of 2 people,
Right.
or at least 1.5, and then you have to add a person.
Right.
And now you're doing the work of 3 people because you have to train that person
Train that person. Yeah.
while you're doing all this other work.
Yes.
And then it can kind of level out, or you can keep growing somewhat of a roller coaster.
Uh huh.
So the person that you would find, will they be someone making the food or more paperwork, or what will they be?
Well, I'll start with the smallest job, like doing the prep.
All right.
Because I've done the training in my past jobs, being the store director.
Yeah.
So I know the training technique.
Okay.
How to train a person. Not dumping everything on him. Otherwise, the next day he'll be gone.
Sure.
So you go step by step.
All right.
Like I train my wife doing things. Step by step. Give her a small task and then get on to the next one. Once she gets that, then get on to the next task. So that's how you train the person, so that the person also gets confident that, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. All right.
Not to scare him away. So yeah, that's very important.
Oh, that is advice that I should probably still take, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
here's some stuff, here's some things.
Nah.
You're a smart person, figure it out.
No.
It doesn't work so
No,
hard.
it doesn't work.
No,
yeah.
despite my will. Hoping that it would.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So,
So will you be staying at Christine's Kitchen, or will
Yes.
you ever get your own place, or you just
well,
happy where
at
you're
Kristen's Kitchen, at the moment, we are using the sharing place.
Okay.
That's because we use the oven and the stove, the gas stove. So that's what we are using. But at a later stage, I am thinking of renting a place at Kristen's Kitchen. There is a spot in there
Okay.
where I can just rent for a monthly rent.
Oh, it's
and
yours.
That's mine.
All right.
Yeah. So I can keep my equipment, and that table and everything is mine.
All right.
Yep.
So you can go in there any time of day.
Anytime. Yep.
All right. And what has to happen? Do you have to move outside of the Madison-Dane County area to other stores, or how do you sell more product, I guess, is what it comes down to?
Well, at this stage, we are planning to have only in Madison.
Okay.
We have got requests to go outside Madison, especially in Milwaukee. But just being two people working, we thought that we'll just concentrate on Madison.
Okay.
Let's bring up our popularity in Madison. Let's grow there first, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Yep.
And is that increasing the sales at each individual store you're already in, or adding more stores?
Adding more stores.
Okay.
Yeah, and the word is getting out.
All right.
And especially after our article in Madison Essentials, people are realizing us.
Yeah.
And then from the government grant, just a few months ago, we bought a business van for our business.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's why we do our delivery from.
All right.
So that gave us an opportunity. Otherwise, we were using our personal cars to deliver food.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was taxing. So
That'd smell nice.
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, so the van has come handy at the
All right.
moment. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So I guess as far as the end goal, the big goal
Yeah.
that you're aiming for, what is
Yeah.
that now?
To expand with new products which are not available in Madison, or
right.
I would say in US.
In the U.S.?
In US,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
yes.
Okay.
And actually, I had gone to India to learn about that project, and I'm working on that project at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so those that item is authentic Indian ice cream
Oh, wow. Okay.
with exotic fruits,
Wow.
made out of exotic fruits, which I'm sure it's not available here. Ice creams made out of like tender coconut,
Oh, interesting.
then
Okay.
from jackfruit,
All right.
from figs.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
these
So non-dairy, no milk?
milk is there.
Milk is there, okay.
Ice cream. It is an
Okay.
ice cream.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but using exotic fruits,
All right.
Indian fruits.
Nice.
And at the moment, back in India, it's gaining popularity.
All right.
I tried some of the ice cream and I loved it. So I said, why not have it here?
Yeah.
No one has something. And those are all like fresh fruit pulp.
Oh, wow.
Is
Okay.
nothing like artificial in it. All
Nice.
fresh fruit pulp.
All right.
So utilizing that pulp into the ice cream. And it's healthy, it's good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So from a production standpoint,
Yep.
I mean, you have to get an ice cream maker?
Well, that's
He's
that's
like,
the
"Whoa."
homework now. But James, that's what I said. That don't leave the. I mean, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Whatever is involved in it, people are doing it. You know, so why can't I?
Right?
Yeah. So there are processes. Okay, let's see what the process is.
Yeah, I don't
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get there. You
I don't even know what
yeah.
an industrial ice cream maker looks like. I've made ice cream with a bucket and the dry ice and salt
Well,
and stuff like that. But
that's the beginning.
you just kick it around, whatever. But I imagine there's some
Process involved in it.
fancy
Yeah.
stainless steel
Yes.
machinery that
Yeah.
does something.
Well, not necessarily it has to be that big scale. It
Okay.
can be a small scale as well.
All right.
So there are equipment available for those. And we are attending a National Restaurant Association is holding an exhibition next month in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be attending there where I'm sure there'll be people there with such equipment.
All right.
And I still have some contacts for those machinery. And there is a guy helping us out from UW.
Oh, nice.
From SBDC actually,
Okay.
who will be assisting me in getting those machineries and getting those products.
All right.
So initially I was thinking of importing the product from India, that particular ice cream.
Yeah.
And then at a later stage, once that market is set, then I'll start manufacturing my own. That's a long goal. That's
That'd be tough to import ice cream, wouldn't it?
no,
Just keep it frozen that whole
Yeah,
time?
it comes in a frozen container.
Okay.
Yeah, people are getting ice creams from overseas.
I just take logistics transportation for granted because I'm like, how do you keep that frozen across the ocean?
Yeah.
Logistics people are like, yeah,
No.
no big thing. It's ice cream. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you need to know the game,
Yeah.
what people are doing.
All right.
So you do that research again, that how are they doing it? What's involved in it?
All
So you
right.
do your homework and then, okay, you narrow it down. You don't have to do that on a big scale.
All
You don't
right.
have to put up a factory.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do in a small kitchen.
Yeah.
So start small.
All right.
Yeah, once you
right.
succeed, then you grow big.
I want to talk about you getting into the grocery stores.
Right.
Because for the other people that are watching this that are interested in starting a food business of
Sure.
some kind, sales has got to be the toughest part, I imagine, or one of the toughest parts.
Yeah.
So you just go up to a grocery store manager or something, you're like, hey, what's going on? I have awesome food.
Yep.
Your people want it. Let's
Yep.
slap it on the shelves.
Yes.
Is that easy or is there more to it?
Well, it is easy.
Okay.
Don't think that, oh, my food won't sell. First of all, after you've done your homework, once you have come to know what your customers want, once you know that, then okay, then I did my food events. Then we found out that okay, the samosas are selling well.
Yeah.
So we introduced that to the stores. So I've got some ground to talk to them. That okay, I sold 800 samosas at this event. So people are liking it. Why don't you carry this in your store?
All right.
And they try it. I give them samples. They try it. They like it.
All right.
Yeah, and I give the samosas to their staff. I said, let them enjoy.
Yeah.
Get their feedback. Yeah, and they all love it. So, okay, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay for shelf space? Because I know some spots in grocery store you have to rent
No.
shelf space.
No.
And, no? Okay.
We were very thankful to Willie Street Co-op.
Yeah.
Because nothing of this sort. They said, okay, let's see your product because they encourage local made food.
All right.
So that was a good break for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, this all started with Wibek.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Wibek was the start of it because when I came here, by the way, I am an Australian citizen. I lived in Australia for 23 years.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You covered the globe. That's
Yes.
awesome.
So when I look back, I see in 7 years in the US, I have reached a stage where I wanted to be.
All right.
And I'm still growing.
All right. We all are.
So, yeah. So when I came here, I was trying to find out that who would help me with this venture. And Wibek were the people who helped me out.
Nice.
So they introduced me to a team where they were looking for businesses like me to get into the Madison public market.
Yeah.
So we are one of the potential vendors for Madison public market.
All right.
So that's the story all started from there. And then one Mr. Ian Ellie.
Yep.
Ian Ellie.
Yep.
He helped us with this venture.
All right.
And he gave me some leads. I said, why don't you approach Willie Street Co-op because they like local food people. So I said, okay. So that was the beginning. That's how then I went to them.
All right.
And then they got our products there.
Nice.
And since then we are growing.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's really not that big of a deal to go to a grocery store.
No, just keep that confidence in yourself
Yeah.
and, do that approach. Don't think what if. No, there's no what if.
Right.
Just do it.
Make it happen.
Approach, yeah. Meet the people, see.
All right.
It happens, it happens. If not, go to the next.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always another store.
Absolutely.
All right.
So after Willie Street, we went to Metcalf. They liked it. We went to HiVs. They liked it.
All right.
So that's how you grow.
And something like a Willie Street Co-op versus HiV, where Willie Street Co-op's more local.
Local, yeah.
HiV's national chain, right?
That's right, yeah.
Was it tougher to get into HiV?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even though I worked there, it is tough to get the shelf space.
Okay.
Yeah. But as I said earlier, that you have to be persistent. You'd never give up, even though they are big.
Yeah.
Because one of the store directors was at my food event.
Oh, nice.
And there he had the opportunity to buy the samosas for his family.
You got him hooked.
Yeah, there you go. So then he said, oh, why don't you sell this to us?
Yeah.
So I said, okay. And at that time I was new. I kept that at the back of my mind. I didn't forget about it.
All right.
We were very new and we didn't have the means of having the proper container,
Yep.
the labels. So there was so many things involved in it.
Yeah.
So we weren't prepared for that.
All right. Get your ducks in a row.
That's
so
right.
speak.
To
Okay.
get, because we have to get the barcodes, and so we didn't know where to go to and how to do that.
Right.
So now, since we know that, we are all set,
All right.
and now we are giving them the products.
Nice. So once you get in the stores, you, I imagine, have to promote to
Yep.
get people, the people with their grocery starts going past your food to
Right.
notice that it's there,
Yeah,
know it's there, throw it in the cart.
yeah.
So are you doing food events at all these places?
No, well, we do what we call as the food sampling.
Okay.
So I'm doing one at Willie Street on the west side in May.
Okay.
I'm forgetting the date, 22nd or 24th it is.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. So Saturday is the busiest day in the grocery store.
All right.
That's where I want foot traffic.
You get the crowd.
That's right.
All right.
So that's where I'll be making my onion pakoras
Oh, wow.
on the spot, nice and hot.
Wow.
Yeah, and that will be served with the tamarind chutney.
All right. That's cool.
Yes,
That's the Willie Street on
on west side,
University Avenue?
University
Okay.
Avenue. Yep.
Got it. That is cool.
So I'll be doing food sampling there.
All right.
Then I'll be doing the food sampling in all other stores like HiVs,
All right.
yeah, and other Willie Street stores.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? I guess website. I guess do you have a website where people can find you?
Ambermadison.com.
Okay.
Ambermadison.com.
Ember Madison. Oh, that's the other question. Last question I want to ask you was, where did you come up with the name?
Well, Ember Foods. Ember Foods. Why Ember? This is one product I want to get here in Madison,
Okay.
or I would say in US, because this product is not available here.
Oh.
This had a very good popularity and a good success back in Sydney, in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So I want to bring that here.
All right.
So it's a charcoal grilled chicken
Oh.
served with garlic sauce and salad, and it's a flatbread called the Lebanese bread.
All right.
And James, the popularity and the success it has back in Sydney, I
Yeah.
can't tell you. Oh my goodness.
All right.
And that's the business where, like, when I saw that business, people queuing up, I said, this is how the food business should be. People queuing up.
Yeah.
Not one day, but every day.
All right. Nice.
So, yeah, so
A
that's
line every day. I
That's
love
it.
it. All
That's it. That's where the money is.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to achieve as well at the Madison Public Market.
All right.
Yes, that's what I want to bring.
Gotcha. So that's, I know they broke ground
Yes.
on that.
Yeah.
They're moving dirt and
Yeah.
moving things. Is there a date for Madison?
Well,
Public
in
Market?
2023, they
Okay.
have, because this has been happening since years
Yeah,
now.
I know that can got kicked down the road a
Yes,
few times for
yes.
different reasons.
So at last, the construction is going on. So
Okay.
yeah,
And that's where the charcoal chicken's coming in.
absolutely.
All right. That's where the embers.
Yes.
I love
So
it.
the ember has come from that fire, you know, the
right.
coal fire. And my logo, which I made it myself,
Yeah.
shows a skewer with the ember written on it.
Nice.
So it's like on the skewer.
Yeah. All right. I think that you brought some of the charcoal chicken.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
At one of the
Yeah, at that event.
At the class.
The class. The
at the
graduation
class.
class.
Yes.
Very cool. So can you tell us that website one more time?
Yeah. Embermadison.com.
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 That's E-M-B-E-R.
EMBERMADISON.com.
Awesome. I love it. Yakub,
Yeah.
thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is fun. It's a blast. I love it when students actually make their business.
Absolutely.
And are
Thanks to
successful
you.
with it. Oh my, well,
Thanks for your coaching.
I'm the guy that was in the front saying, get to work. You guys actually do the work.
Yeah, we
so-
followed it. We
Yeah.
followed.
Yeah, it's so
And
impressive.
thanks to you from my wife too, because she gained a lot of confidence
Yeah.
after attending your course. Because she couldn't do public speaking, she couldn't talk to the customers.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you remember when you had the class,
I do, yeah.
yeah, stand up and talk.
You have to
And-
stand up and tell everyone
Absolutely.
about your business.
Yes.
And I remember the students
Yes.
were like, whoa.
Oh no.
Whoa, I got to tell about my business?
No, but that gave her a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And today, so she's at the counter, taking money from the people,
Oh, very
talking to them,
cool.
interact, because I'm back there cooking.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
impressive.
yeah.
Come a long
So
way.
that helped us a lot. Thank you.
That is cool. I love it.
Yeah.
This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We are underwritten locally by the Bank of Sun Prairie. If you're listening or watching this on the web, if you could do us a huge favor, comment, subscribe, and of course, smash that big old thumbs up button. My name is James Kateman, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering services for service businesses across the country on the web at callsoncall.com. as well as Draw In Customers Business Coaching, offering business coaching services for entrepreneurs looking for growth on the web at drawInCustomers.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur and all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. We'd like to thank you, our viewers and listeners, as well as our guest, Yakub Kazi, the owner of Ember Foods. Yakub, can you tell us that website one more time?
Yeah, embermadison.com.
Awesome. And then what are the grocery stores that people can find your food at?
Willie Street, all the 3 streets of Willie Street.
All right.
Both the stores of Metcalf.
All right.
And East Side HiVs.
East Side HiVs. I love it.
And also Hunger Hub,
All right.
East Street on State Street.
Excellent.
Yep.
So if you're in Madison, passing through Madison, soon to be the world, you get Ember Foods.
And
Love
also
it.
see us at the food events.
Nice.
At the food events.
Very
like
cool.
Bodega.
So is
Bodega.
what is the one that's Taste of Madison?
A taste of I won't be there.
You won't be there.
No.
Okay, so forget about that. Grocery stores.
Grocery stores.
So all good.
Yeah, grocery stores in the deli section, in the grab and go. Grab and go
Deli
section.
grab and go.
Yeah, grab and go.
Perfect. I love it. You get some diversity in your palate, which is it's always just fun to get food like that. I love
Absolutely.
it. Love it. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night. Podcast link found at drawInCustomers.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.